Hey everybody, you're looking at a 2022 Mercedes-Benz E450 4Matic sedan. Now, every Mercedes-Benz E450 is a 4Matic. They are all-wheel drive now, but that's what they call it, part of the name, so there you go. Now, Mercedes gave the E-Class a nice update for the 2021 model year. That included some tweaks to the styling in the front and the back and some updates to the interior as well. For 2022, very minor changes, but a few. We got a new color. In fact, it's this color right here, Nautica Blue Metallic, and they have these adaptive high beam assist headlights, and they are now standard. But this is still the W213 chassis that came out as a 2017 model year E-Class. For 2022 in the United States, there are 4 trims of E-Class to choose from: the E350, the E350 4Matic, this E450 4Matic, and the E53 AMG. Aside from the E350, which relies on a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, all the other classes get this inline 6-cylinder 3-liter, and it is a gem. Also, all E-Class Mercedes are all-wheel drive other than the base E350. The base price for a 2022 E-Class is $56,000, and the base class for this E450 4Matic is $63,800, but my test car has a lot of options and costs $73,350, but let me assure you, some of those options are quite good. All right, this is a good time to take a moment to stop and show you around and inside the car. All right, everybody, let's take a closer look at this 2022 Mercedes-Benz E450 4Matic sedan. This particular one is painted in Nautical Blue Metallic, which is a $750 optional paint. Looking at the front of the car, the Mercedes logo is loud and proud right in the center of the front grille. That is not just a logo, however. Behind that is some of the sensors and workings to make the adaptive cruise control work. And of course, there's another camera right above there. I do like this pattern of the grille. I think it's sharp, and I like the little, more polished bits within the darker metal. And then you got these nice horizontal slots running on either side of their Mercedes grille. You do have another Mercedes-Benz logo on the hood, a hood ornament of sorts, though it lays flat. It doesn't come up like traditional ones did, and that is just a logo. That does not have a myriad of sensors behind it, at least that I know of. I do also like this polished metal effect down here on the lower bumper. I think that's a nice touch to make it pop out just a little bit more. And also, this is a beautiful headlight pattern you see right here. And these are what Mercedes calls adaptive high beam assist lights. Looking at the car in profile, it is a big and beautiful and classic looking sedan. It even kind of shucks the growing tradition of having a sloping roof coming down. It does slope down just a little bit there, but you've got much more of a classic roof shape back there, which I appreciate. We have plenty of coupe-like sedans on the market today. We don't need another one in the E-Class. Real quick, since we're here, I'll put up the dimensions of the car so you can get a sense of how big it is. It is a fairly large sedan, 195 inches, just under, from bow to stern, but I think it is a nice shape. And again, I do like some details, like this polished metal window trim that we see coming around here, and polished metal for the top of the door handles, but actually body colored right across right here, and that's a nice shape. And then it kind of like comes down as you go down, and I just locked the car. You also have this nice character line that starts right at these headlamps here and then carries through all across the side of the car right into the tail lamps right there. Nice touch. And of course, a nice moonroof for some natural light to let into the cabin. My test car is equipped with $1,100 optional AMG 19-inch wheels. Standard wheels on the Mercedes E450 are 18s, and these 19-inch wheels give you a beautiful view of these cross-drilled rotors right here and big fixed calipers right here. But as you can see from the tread blocks, this is not a high-performance summer tire or anything like that. Looking at the car from the back, we get a little bit more of this polished metal treatment here, this horizontal bar right here, another TriStar logo right in the center, E450, of course, and you get these kind of like fat, narrowing tail lights right here, which have a nice look, and you have all these little spots here for the LED tail lights to work. You also get dual exhaust tips here and here, but of course these are not the real tips. They are underneath, down there and there. Yeah, that's frustrating, that, because why? Doesn't need to be. I think it would be cleaner if this was just a clean sheet instead of trying to fake exhaust tips right there. And it is dual exhaust tips. Just have them be subtle and underneath the car. There's nothing wrong with that. And by the way, this kind of like faux diffuser doesn't do much either. But anyway, quibbles aside, it is a nice looking back of the car. Let's take a look inside. You do get a 13 cubic feet trunk in back, and it is lovely and spacious and right there. And of course you also have a button to close the trunk and indeed close and lock the car if you wish. And if 13 cubic feet is not enough, it is easy to fold down the seats here and here. And now you have more than 13 cubic feet of storage in back and space for 2 in front. All right, let's take a look inside. Even from the back seat, you can see right away this is a beautiful interior. I really enjoy the beige. I mean, honestly, when it's not black, I'm happy. There is black as part of the interior. You can see it in the floor mats and the carpeting and the headliner, but the seats themselves are beige, which in the summer will help keep them a little bit lighter. And you've got this gorgeous rough grain ash wood to look at as part of the door trim, which I really like. And yes, this does have an optional Burmeister stereo with a lot of lovely looking speaker covers. I am 5'11" or 181 centimeters tall, and I've got, I would say, close to 6 inches of knee room, which is plenty, but the seat bottoms are a little bit on the low side, so thigh support is only so-so, and I do have more than a 90-degree bend in my knees. I do, however, thanks to that straight roof, have decent amount of headroom, and I do also have some power sources right there, a little bit of space for stuff right there. And if you do not have 3 passengers in back, you do get this lovely little cushion for your arms, and that includes fancy cup holders. Hey, hey. All right, let's take a look in front. Again, this is a very beautiful interior. I like it quite a lot. You do, of course, have power windows, side view mirror adjustment, 3-position seat memory right there, and all your seat adjustments are right on the door. You do get heated seats. Those are standard on the E450. Nice little touch right there. Below that, you have a nice bottle holder and some space in the door, and there's another trunk release right there. I do like this metal kick plate right here with Mercedes-Benz right on there, and there is actually one adjustment on the seat, and that is your lumbar support. The seats themselves are very comfortable and have deep upper bolsters right here and decent lower bolsters as well. You also have this adjustment for the headrest. You are looking at a 12.3-inch fully digital instrument cluster screen right there, and another 12.3-inch fully digital center console touchscreen right there. They're connected to each other right here. Not one continuous piece of glass per se, but you know, a very seamless look and design. The steering wheel itself does have paddle shifters, upshift, downshift, and lots of controls. These controls help you make adjustments to the instrument cluster, and these controls help you make adjustments to the center console touchscreen. Push button start is right here. There's the screen all lit up in its digital greatness, and just continuing right on to the center console touchscreen right there. You do also have a command center down here to make adjustments and swipe. It's kind of like a touchpad on a laptop. Over there, this is a knob for volume, and you can press that to turn it on and off. This turns on and off the entire display. This is how you adjust your drive modes. I'll get to those in just a second. And because this has an air suspension, you can actually choose between 2 different ride heights. We're in the standard ride height right now. You can press this and raise the car, I would say, at least an inch. And here are some options for cameras around the car and your automatic engine start stop right there. With this open, you do have a couple of cup holders, and that is a wireless charging pad right there. That is a $200 external option. And here is your cord for smartphones and whatever other device, and that is how you connect for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Beneath that is another standard cigarette lighter style charge port. We do have dual zone climate control right here and a lot of options, and some additional buttons right here to complement the command center and the touchscreen up here. Beneath that, we do have a lower center console storage space right there, and that does have a couple of more USB ports as well. And this port has the USB Type-C to standard USB cable right there. Looking up, we have some more controls right here for lights and the moonroof, but the privacy panel is a manual and it is right there. Now, you can't tell by looking at it, but there is one other thing about this particular interior that I want to point out. It has the $1,100 acoustics comfort package. And what does that mean? That means that you get more cabin insulation as well as front side and windshield glass that is insulated with a membrane that helps keep out acoustics and heat. So it better insulates the cabin both from a temperature point of view, from a climate point of view, as well as a noise point of view. And spoiler alert, it works really well. Okay, drive modes. You get 4 drive modes. You press them right here. You get Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, and Individual. And as you can see, with Individual, you can adjust the engine, the suspension, the steering, and the stability control. So if you want to adjust Individual, what you do, you can do it from here. Go to Individual, then just press Settings right here, and you can see Drive, Suspension. We have 3 levels: Comfort, Sport, and Sport Plus. Steering, 2 levels: Comfort or Sport, and that's just steering weight, how much assist you get, and stability control. And this one is surprising to me. You get Comfort, Sport, and Sport Plus. I'm surprised they're offering 3 levels of that. So that gives you the ability to control how much stability control intervention you would get when you're going quickly around corners. And you know what? That kind of sounds like a good idea. Let's get back to our drive. Let's dig into this powertrain. As I said at the top, this is a great engine. 3-liter turbocharged inline 6-cylinder engine, a very smooth, inherently balanced engine that runs quietly and really well. It is also a hybrid system, a mild hybrid system, but a hybrid system nonetheless, with a 48-volt system that they call EQ Boost, and that gives you 21 extra horsepower and up to 184 pound-feet of torque at lower engine RPMs to help have the engine have a broader mid-range. But once the engine gets spinning, you make up to 362 horsepower. That's between 5,500 and 6,100 RPM and 369 pound-feet of torque, and you get that between 1,600 and 4,500 RPM, a nice broad range for peak torque, and then peak power isn't far behind. Really good numbers. Now, the engine will spin up to 6,800 RPM, which is pretty darn good for a turbocharged engine. A lot of them don't go much past 6,000 RPM for redlines. This one, you're getting pretty darn close to 7,000. As I mentioned, the E450 gets a 2-liter turbocharged engine that makes 255 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque, which is 107 fewer horsepower and 96 fewer pound-feet, but still not bad in its own right, to be fair. But the smoothness of this 6, in addition to the power it provides, makes it a very good choice. Paired with this car, you also get a 9-speed automatic transmission, and as I already said, it is in fact all-wheel drive, 4Matic. Put all that together, and this pretty darn large sedan gives you 23 miles to the gallon in the city, 30 miles to the gallon on the highway, 25 miles combined. And while fuel economy is important, especially nowadays, acceleration is much more fun, let me assure you, and also let me show you that right now. All right, everybody, time for an acceleration test. I do have the car in Sport Plus mode. I do also have the stability control off, and I've come to a complete stop. See what this 362 horsepower inline 6 can do. Bit of brake torque. Oh, close to 2,500 RPM, and off we go. Oh, good initial thrust back. Oh, so smooth, even though we're accelerating nice and quickly. This is very, very smooth. Oh, so creamy and quick. Wow, very, very good. Mercedes-Benz claims 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds. No reason to disbelieve that. You have all-wheel drive, so plenty of grip to get off the line. You saw I had a good jerk back from the initial launch. Good, smooth, consistent pull. Fast shifts from the transmission. 9-speed automatic, so plenty of gear ratios to work with. Yeah, solid acceleration. Yeah, not only is it quick, so quick to 60 under 5 seconds, but so smooth. I absolutely love it. But look, roads have corners, and even large sedans have to go through those corners sometimes. And this does have a pretty darn fancy suspension with 4 driving modes. So let me show you how this car handles. All right, everybody, time for a handling test. I do have the Mercedes in the Sport Plus driving mode, and I do have the stability control off, and I'll actually take a quick moment to show you how to turn that off. First, go to settings. Right here, you see quick access, ESP. Turn it off. Okay, so I do have all those things, but it is still a big sedan, and it is a non-AMG big sedan. So despite having a $1,900 air body control air suspension, let's see how it goes. Oh, yeah, good pull for sure. Oh boy, yeah, fair amount of body roll, but good control. Steering is still quite light, even in the sport steering setting, which Sport Plus gives you. Oh yeah, pretty heavy roll here, and the front end's not that fast to react. You've got a lot of steering assistance, so the weight's really light, and it makes it harder to feel and be precise with the wheel. And as you can hear, we don't have gobs of grip either. But, I mean, with the suspension leaning as much as it is, the grip that you get from the tire is about accurate for what this car is. This is not an AMG. If this were the 53, I'd be a little bit more disappointed in that. But for what this car is, it's entirely competent. There was nothing about that was stressful, nothing about it that was unstable. It was perfectly pleasant for what it needed to be, but it would not be your first choice to be a canyon road carver. I mean, it's enjoyable. Yeah, why not, right? Why not? Not your sports car competitor, certainly, but really not bad. But let's get into the sweet spot of this sedan, and that is ride comfort. This thing is so quiet and so smooth. I already mentioned that acoustic comfort package. It does wonders to make this car very quiet and calm and peaceful inside. I absolutely love it. And you know, you also have nice mood lighting, this really nice oak trim to add a little bit of warmth to the interior. Everything about it is so good. And then the air suspension, of course, does a really good job to absorb bumps and heaves and imperfections in the road, and does so very quietly. It's a fantastic riding car, and that's true on roads like this or on the interstate. Let me show you that. All right, everybody, time for a quick trip on the interstate. This, I imagine, will be quite good. I do have the car back in comfort drive mode. Stability control is back on, and here we go. So as I get up to speed, I actually want to cut to a quick video I put together of the cruise control and the speed settings, because there's actually 2 different ways to set the speed on the cruise control. Let me show you that real quick. A neat little feature of the Mercedes-Benz cruise control system is that you can either set it in 1 mile an hour increments or 5 mile an hour increments. To set it in 5 mile an hour increments, you press up or down here. To set it in 1 mile an hour increments, you slide up or slide down, and you'll see the set speed change up on your digital cluster. So yeah, neat little trick, and I am now going to set the cruise control. Okay, now I do have the cruise control set. Now, on a Mercedes, on a lot of German products, but definitely on a Mercedes, very little comes standard. A lot of what you get are optional extras, But this particular car does have the $1,950 driver assistance package, and that means I get a huge swath of driver aids in this car, not least of which is, of course, adaptive cruise control, and there's a whole bunch of lane keep and all those types of things as well. So that will be running. We'll see how smoothly that operates. So far, no problem at all. But much more importantly, as I mentioned when we were walking around and inside the car, this has the $1,100 acoustic comfort package, and that is phenomenal. That gives you, thicker glass with a special membrane to help insulate road and wind noise, and some more insulation in the cabin itself. And as a result, it is very quiet and peaceful and comfortable in here. Dare I say serene, and it just makes it an extremely enjoyable place to be and soak up some miles. With the suspension in comfort mode, it absorbs bumps and heaves in the road with zero trouble at all. You do get a little bit of wobbliness in the body here and there, but everything's smooth and easy. The air suspension works really well, and it's nice to have all those options, that adjustable ride height and stiffness and everything else that they provide. So we have just a wide variety of what the computer can do to make this car comfortable as well. The center console touchscreen and the instrument cluster are both really easy to see even in the sun. That's easy to use, no problem there. Plus, this is an extremely smooth running, very quiet inline six. We're going 78 miles an hour indicated, and we are turning 1700 RPM, and you just barely know this thing is even on. It is approaching electric motor smooth. It's just fantastic. So yeah, very quiet, very comfortable, plenty of amenities. This is an extremely good place to absorb miles, go on a road trip, whatever. You'll be comfortable and you'll be happy. Put it all together, and this 2022 Mercedes-Benz E450 4Matic sedan is just a dream to drive. Not for the car enthusiast per se. It's not a canyon carver, as I said before. You get a fair amount of body roll, the steering's pretty light, all those kinds of things. But just for driving more generally, for all the more domestic, mundane driving tasks that are ahead of you, that have to be done, this car does it so well. It does it very comfortably, very quietly, very, very smoothly. So you have lots of options to adjust the seats just so, and you're well supported for all types of driving. The steering wheel is very comfortable to hold, a very nice soft leather to touch your hands. You have a good thick rim to hold on to. These dual 12.3 inch screens in front of you, one for the instrument cluster, one for the center console touchscreen, are bright, easy to read, high definition for sure, really easy to use. Like those very much. And the center console touchscreen has a lot of options in it. I didn't really get into that, but just trust me, there's a lot to work with and choose from there. The air suspension does a fantastic job to absorb bumps and keep everything rolling softly, and the cabin itself is so quiet. It's just a very calm place to be. It's the type of place where you can get lost in thought, in your own thoughts. So there's a real serenity when driving this car. And when you have to get to a destination, I can't think of many better ways to enjoy the journey. I'm Robin Warner. Thank you for watching. And if you are still watching, I would really appreciate it if you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Those things really do help me quite a lot. Okay, goodbye. Yeah. Let's just keep rolling.